Regression measures relationships that exist between two variables, one variable being the independent and the other one being the dependent. So regression and the equation has the following prediction equation: a plus bx, where a is what? The y-intercept, and we have our b as a slope or the gradient. So we are going to look at a question that will really answer how to come up with a regression equation. So other parameters that you need to know of are parameters like R, which is the coefficient of correlation. Coefficient of correlation gives you an idea whether you have a negatively or positively sloping equation. It talks about the relationship, whether it's positive or negative. And we also have what we call the coefficient of determination, which is given by R squared. This coefficient of determination, it gives you the extent to which x affects y. It gives you the extent to which x affects y. So each of these ones have distinctive formulas. Now, you must agree or understand that when you're dealing with regression, the relationships that exist could either be positive and strong, or negative and weak. So how do we know that they are positive when your R is positive? That is how we know that it's a positive relationship. But how do we know that it is a strong relationship when the dots are close to each other? This is when R squared is greater than 50%. But when the dots are further away from each other, this is a what? A weak relationship. It can be weak or moderate. Similarly, when your R is negative, is downsloping. When your R is negative, your B is also negative. So it is downsloping. A very good example of a negative relationship is what? The demand function. So this is a strong and negative relationship. This is a weak and also negative relationship. So we now go to a regression question. We have x and y here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we have 1, 1, 2, 2, and what? And 4. So we want to come up with what is called a regression equation. The first thing is you need to come up with this schedule. X, Y here, x squared, and y squared. So we can fill in this. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Here we have 1, 1, 2, 2, and what? And 4. So you'll be asked, firstly, to sketch your plot. So how do we sketch we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then the way we plot on an x or y plane, 1, 1, you put a point here. 2, 1, put a point here. 3, 2, put a point here. 4, 2, 5, 4, put a point here. So this is what we call a positive slope. It's upsloping, able to tell. Then we can fill in this x, y, we're multiplying this and that. What are we getting here? 1 here, 2 here, 6 here, 8.
8.
And what are we having here? 1 and 4, 9, 16, and what? 25. And here we're just squaring this column and that column. 1, 1, 4, 4, and what? 16. So when we total up, this is called the summation of x. The next one is the summation of what? Y. Summation of xy. Summation of x squared. Summation of y squared. So what is the summation of x? Simply adding the x column here. What are we getting in here? 10, 15. The summation of x is 15. Now n, how many are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. N is 5. N is 5 throughout because all of them, each one has a what? 5 elements. What is summation of y? 4, 8, 10. Put your 10 here. What's summation of xy? 20, 30, 37. So put your 37 here. What is summation of x squared? 25, 25, 55. You put your 55 here. What is the summation of y squared? 20, 26. You put it there. At this stage, are there any questions? Anyone behind? Are we on the same page?
No, sir, we are not on the same page. I joined when you were drawing. I don't know how the question is framed and how you are coming up with the answers. I'm really behind.
So we're just given this, and you're asked number 1, sketch the diagram. So we're looking at regression analysis, where we're just expanding on the parameters. So say this is called the prediction equation. For us to know the prediction equation, we need to find A and B. And A and B have their own formulas. And we have R and R squared. R is a coefficient of correlation, and R squared is a coefficient of determination. When your slope is negative, your R is negative. When your slope is positive, your R is positive. Squaring this gives you what percentage X has on Y. So we are now doing a question where we are asked to calculate the regression equation. So the first part, sketch. So X is usually on the horizontal. Then we have Y here. So what we did first, by transposing X and Y and multiplying XY, we're multiplying these two columns. X squared, we're squaring the first column, and Y squared, we're squaring the last column. And what we're just from doing is totaling up this total. We found X squared 55. And we found this column, Y squared as 26. So that's where we are so far. Is that clear?
Yes, sir, it is. Thank you.
So now for us to calculate or find what the regression is, we need to also understand how to find the slope. The slope is simply found by SS. Slope is simply found by sum of square xx into sum of square y of xy. Now R simply found by, let's go to our A. Our A is found after I calculate your A or B. Summation of y over n minus b summation of x over n. Our R is very close to the b because they go hand in hand. So this is xy over the square root of xx minus yy. And square this one, get our coefficient of determination, which is r times r. Now, what is sxx, syy? What are these? So these ones are called variations in x. Remember, we had our summation of x as what? 15. Our summation of x squared as 55. Our n as 5. Our summation of xy, x squared, 55, xy 37, and y 7. Summation of y 26. Summation of y squared 6. Summation of y is 10. Summation of y squared 6. So now, how do you find summation of xx? It's a variation in x. Xx, just put x's throughout. It's given by summation of x squared. You need to know these formulas. And summation of x, just put x's throughout over n. So what is summation of x squared? 55. What is summation of x? 15. When you square it, divided by the n, which is 5, you get 55 minus 45, which is 10. Then summation of yy, the same, but where there is x, just put y. So here, our summation of y squared, 26, summation of y, 10 over what? 5. 10 times 10, 100. Divided by 5 is 20. 26 minus 20, we get what? 6. And finally, summation of xy is a variation in xy. So this is summation of xy minus summation of x and the summation of y. We divide this by what? N. So xy is what? 37. X 15. Y 10 over n, which is 5. So 3, 5 into 15, 3 times 10 is 30. So 37 minus 30, we get a 7. So these are preliminary calculations that you need to know. Then you find our slope. Remember, our b is sum of square xy. You now start replacing what you found over xx. Right here, xy is what? 7. Xx is what? 10. And here, 0.7. A, who remembers the formula for A? Summation of y over n, summation of x over n. So here we have what? 10 over 5 and a summation, the b that you found here on top, 0.7. And summation of x is 15. You divide by the n, which is 5. So 5 into 10, we have a 2. 0.7 times 3, we have 2.1. So in practice, you get negative 0.1. That is our A. Now, since we know that our regression equation is A plus bx, the first question was find the regression equation. Find the prediction equation sometimes. So here where there's A, what are we going to put? 0.1. Where there's B, 0.7. So get you 5 marks for the regression equation. We're done. That is how you formulate the regression equation. Now, since it's a prediction equation, the follow-up question would be, if x is 10, what is y? So to find y, we should replace where there's x. So we know that y is negative 0.1 plus 0.71 x. So what we put where there's x? Put a 10. So what do we get? Get 6.9. So sometimes x and y could be variables that are mentioned to say x is advertising, y is sales. So they ask you, what sales will you make in millions if your advertising is 10,000? Like the 10 here, it will give you 6.9. So it will give you an idea. Okay, this is what is happening. This is part B. Part C, they ask you to find R and R squared and interpret. Who remembers what does R stand for and what does R squared stand for? What does R stand for? Coefficient of correlation. So this is given by xy over xx. So xy, also xy, 7, xx, 10, and 6. So to find that, we're going to have 7, 10, and 6. So this is the same as 7 over root 16. Are I getting 7 over root 16? 0.903. So because they're positive, your comment is x and y are positive. They're positively related. Means the gradient is also positive. Then if they ask you what is R squared, just square R or multiply R by itself. So R 0.903 When you square it, you get approximately 0.8165. What does this mean? 81.6% of x affects y. So that is how you do regression, which is linear. So this is the most basic way you could answer a linear regression question. Any questions so far at this point? Any questions? So happens with the easiest topic because everything can also be calculated on a calculator. Any questions? Anyone behind?